Depression and anxiety suck at the best of times, but when reality sideswipes you with some bullshit, that's when it gets really fun. Most of the time you can just kind of bumble along. It's just every little crisis is heightened a little bit. So, you know, you can't find your keys for 5 minutes. It's more like losing your cat overnight, or, you know, everything's just a bit amped up. That, yeah, it's copable. But then, you know, everyday stuff still ends up amped up. So when our washing machine broke last night and flooded the kitchen and soaked the carpet in the hallway, you know, that is immediate stomach clenching, shit yourself, oh my god, the world is ending sort of territory when you're anxious. You know, it's not nice at the best of times, but when you're like I am, it feels a fuck sight worse.
This guy's got the right idea. He wore the brown pants.
My anxiety is much more social though. You know, a flooded kitchen and a soaked carpet is something you can practically deal with and that you can solve. You know, you can soak it up with towels and wring them out. You can put heaters on to try and evaporate the water away. You can get your dehumidifiers going. All that shit, you know, that's something practical that you can deal with. You can mop up the water, you can deal with the crisis, you can turn off the machine. No, yeah, that's bad, but it's something you can take practical steps towards. But that whole time I'm doing that, what's really making me feel like shit is knowing that now I'm gonna have to phone the support people. And, you know, we have an extended customer care thing. I'm going to have to deal with all that bullshit. What's really getting me is that I'm going to have to deal with a person in a position of authority who I'm going to have to convince to provide help.
I believe you have my stapler.
That's what really gets me. Even from the first moment that I realise that my socks are wet and they shouldn't be, you know, even from that moment, that's immediately what starts gnawing away at me. What adds to the problem in this instance is that our washer dryer is so old that wandering kung fu students seeking revenge come to it to be taught secret techniques. That's how old it is. You know, it should have a long white wispy beard trailing across the kitchen floor and should dispense ancient Confucian wisdom along with clean dry clothes.
See? That was nothing. But that's how it always begins. Very small.
It's old, is what I'm saying. And as a result, the policy that goes along with it is also old. I think we bought it in 2005, 2006, something like that. It's old. It's old to the point where the support contract that we pay into is a legacy support contract. So when something does go wrong, it's not just a matter of phoning up, giving a reference number and booking an appointment. Oh no. No, here's what you have to do normally. First, you phone up the company that sold you the cover, and then you go through this whole rigmarole where they pretend not to know that this policy even exists at all. And so you have to keep arguing until you get through to a manager or something, someone who has a knowledge of legacy systems. And they realise that, oh, yes, they did indeed sell you that policy, and that it's still valid, but that they sold the coverage of that policy to a separate company when they wound up and introduced their new policy. So then they have to give you the current number for the whichever company it is that now currently owns the coverage of that policy. So armed with this new number and a reference number, you then have to call up a second company and sit through You
can't put me on hold! I'll put you on hold! I am a lineman for the county
for another hour or two until you get through to someone. And then you talk to them, and you tell them that you got this policy, you got this reference number, so on and so forth. Maybe they put you on hold for a while they call back to the original company to check that everything is tickety-boo. Then they finally admit that yes, you're supposedly covered by this policy, and you talk to them some more, and you go through the rigmarole of registering all the problems, reference numbers, the make, the model, you know, everything else. What dynasty built the washer dryer in particular that you're talking about? And then they say, okay, we cover that, But you hadn't have to go ahead and phone the company that built the thing in order to book an engineer. Oh, we don't do that shit for you. We just, approve that yes, you're covered. Here's another reference number. Go and call the manufacturer's helpline. So you get back on the phone again for another hour or two. Eventually you get through to an engineer. You convince them the original reference number and this new reference number are valid, that you've got someone that's supposedly, you're covered. They can come and fix it and they'll get money for doing so. Book the appointment and everything else. Of course, it's never that quick, is it? Nah.
I called Central Services.
Well, they're a little overworked these days. Luckily, I intercepted your call.
This time, apparently they've updated their systems. It was a lot quicker. I got marched right through the process and straight through to the manufacturer to book an engineer. So, all of that tension and being relatively unable to sleep and everything else turned out not to be too much to worry about. So if there's a moral to the story, I suppose it is just push through the tension and everything and get it done. Because once it's done, you can relax. And now the only thing I have to worry about is that they can't come till next Monday. So I'm going to be down to my kilt, no underwear, and a vintage Frankie Says Relax t-shirt one size too small by the end of the time. That's going to be fun to answer the door to the engineer in that get-up, I can tell you.
What are you wearing round your neck?
It's my new ruff.
You look like a bird who swallowed a plate.
Fuck everything. Zang.
Crunchy bass, nutty bass, buttery biscuit bass, acid bass, smack around the face. I like the buttery biscuit bass, hard bass, soft bass, buttery biscuit bass. I like the buttery bass, but it needs more oomph. That bass,